So what are things that contribute to happiness, and what are things that deplete happiness?
Well, I think certainly the things that deplete happiness are the things that are in violation of the way God has designed the universe to operate. His best for our life, every time we violate it is sure to bring unhappiness. Every time we follow what God says, it brings happiness. When you have Psalm 1, which starts with with the word blessed, happy. Happy are those who do not listen to the counsel of the wicked, but who delight in the law of God, in the word of God. So if you want happiness, go to God's counsel. Seek his thoughts, seek his mind. But when you go to the world, and Greg and I were talking earlier about Twitter and what a nightmare it can be sometimes. There's some good things there, but there's a lot of just rudeness and hostility and pride and arrogance and critical spirit. If you're going there, if you're going to the political world to get if that's your source of, it's where you spend your time, you are going to be a miserable person, and people are not going to be drawn to Christ through you. Go to God and his word and the delights and the pleasures of what it means to follow him, and that'll bring happiness to your life.
Yeah, I think of people just scrolling through their phones constantly, and you're reading tweets or you're looking at social media or whatever, you're reading news feeds, and there's so many things that can bring you down. It's like, don't look down so much, look up. Look up to God, look up to the imminent return of Jesus, look to the word of God, and look to the needs of others. Studies have revealed, this, Randy, you've talked about this in your books, but studies have revealed that when you focus on helping others, it actually improves your life, your outlook in general. I read about one survey that was done, and probably was from your book, of 4,500 American adults, which revealed that those who volunteered an average of 100 hours a year, of them, 68% reported they were physically healthier, 73% said it lowered their stress levels, and 89% said it improved their sense of well-being.
Right.
So, now it seems like medical science is catching up with what the Bible has said all along, because what did Jesus say? It's more blessed to give than it is to receive.
Exactly, and that word blessed there is that word makarios, which means it is more happy making to give than to receive. And this is so interesting. If you look at Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and some of the secular people that don't know the Lord, and hear them talk about what they have discovered about the joy of giving, and just the giddiness, the happiness that they have experienced just by God's common grace, even as unbelievers, in doing what they're wired to do. If you are, well, think of the word miser. Well, what word comes from the word miser? Miserable. So then think of Scrooge, how unhappy he was when he was just accumulating all this wealth and hanging onto it and using it only for himself. And then what happens in the transformation in A Christmas Carol, Dickens' classic? What happens is Scrooge now becomes what? A new person. It's like regeneration. It's as if he's been born again. And what is he doing now? Instead of being the miser who holds on to everything and is therefore miserable, he becomes the giver. And as he gives, Dickens observes, he became the happiest man in all of London. Why? Because when you give, you're happy. So don't wait to think, oh, well, if I become happy about it, someday I'll start giving. No, do the giving, and that will make you happy. Do the action that accords with happiness, and then you will become happy.